Welcome back to the channel. First, subscribe and let's start. Tonight's story isn't just another tale of fear. It's something that really happened to me. I thought writing my feelings down would help me heal. But what I found in my diary changed everything I knew about reality. I used to keep a diary because I was lonely. I used to write every night before bed, just simple thoughts. What I ate, who I talked to, what hurt, and what made me smile. And at first, it felt like therapy, a way to release what I couldn't tell anyone. But everything changed one night when I opened the book and saw words I didn't write, words that shouldn't have been there, because the ink looked different, the handwriting was different, and the sentences were too personal, like they came from somewhere inside me I never showed before. I remember staring at the line that said, "Why do you keep pretending?" And I froze, because I had written something similar weeks ago, but never that exact phrase, never with that tone. I thought maybe I was too tired. Maybe I forgot I wrote it. But when I looked closer, I realized the pen strokes pressed harder than mine ever did. The page almost torn from the pressure. And the more I turned the pages, the more the handwriting changed, each page more chaotic, as if someone had been writing when I wasn't looking. I tried to tell myself it was a joke, that maybe I wrote while half asleep. But then the diary began writing about things I hadn't even lived yet. It mentioned people I would meet, places I hadn't gone, and feelings I didn't understand. And every word felt like a warning. I remember the entry that said, "Don't go to the park on Sunday." And I laughed because who would write something so random? But on that Sunday, when I walked to the park, there was a terrible accident. A little boy got hit by a car right in front of me. And when I came home, the diary had another page filled out, describing everything that happened in perfect detail, including how I froze and couldn't scream, my hands shaking just like they did at that moment. And I swear, it wasn't there before I left the house. I threw the book across the room, but later that night, it was back on my desk, open, waiting for me. I tried ignoring it for days. I tried locking it away. But every morning, it was somewhere new, open to a different page, like it wanted me to read, like it was breathing quietly on my desk, waiting for my attention. And the scariest thing was how it started responding to me. Because when I wrote, "Who are you?" the next day I woke up to the answer written below in shaky letters, "I'm you." And I remember my stomach twisting, my skin crawling, as if someone had whispered behind me. I tried to convince myself it was a prank, but who could sneak into my house every night, write in my diary, and disappear? No signs of entry, no sounds, nothing missing. I tried recording myself sleeping, setting up my phone on the shelf, and all night I tossed and turned. But the next morning when I checked the footage, the phone was turned off halfway through the night. And when I opened my diary, there was a new line waiting, "Stop watching me." And the moment I read it, I dropped the book. my heart pounding like a drum inside my chest. I started to feel like I was losing control, like maybe I was writing in my sleep, or maybe someone else was using my body. Every night became a blur. I started waking up in strange positions, my hands covered in ink, the pen left open on the desk. And still, I couldn't remember writing a single word. The diary started becoming more violent. It told me to stay away from certain people, to avoid certain streets. And every time I ignored it, something terrible happened. A friend broke her leg. A stranger followed me home. And I began to feel trapped, as if the diary wasn't warning me, but controlling me. And one night it wrote, "You're not the writer anymore." And I didn't sleep after that. I went to a therapist because I thought maybe I was having delusions. Maybe grief or stress was making me hallucinate. But even after medication, the diary didn't stop. It got worse. The handwriting became clearer, stronger, more confident, and it started signing each page with my full name, including the middle name no one knew. I tried to burn it. I threw it in the fireplace, watched the edges curl, the pages turn black, but the next morning, it was on my bed again, untouched, clean, like new, and inside it read, "That wasn't very nice." I screamed, I cried, I begged whatever it was to leave me alone. But the diary answered, "You invited me." And that line broke me, because I remembered writing years ago that I wished someone could understand me completely. Someone who could feel my pain, hear my thoughts. And now I wondered if I had created it. Some part of my mind that had come alive. A darker version of myself. Every day it wrote things that I didn't dare think about. Confessions I buried deep inside. Things I never said aloud. And the worst part, it was right about everything. Every secret it exposed was true, and I felt like the pages were peeling away layers of my sanity, one sentence at a time. The diary started calling me by another name, a name I'd never heard before, and it kept writing, "Remember who you were." I didn't understand what that meant until I found the newspaper clipping tucked between the pages. It was old, yellowed, dated 20 years before I was born, and it talked about a girl who disappeared from this same neighborhood, same house number, and the photo looked just like me. I mean exactly like me, same eyes, same scar above the eyebrow, and I felt sick. Because suddenly all those words, all those memories in the diary weren't just random thoughts. They were pieces of her life, her pain, her death. She was writing through me. I was just the pen. I started to remember things that never happened to me. A basement, a locked door, someone screaming my name. And I realized I wasn't just reading a haunted diary. I was the continuation of someone else's unfinished story. She was using me to relive it, to finish it, and maybe to make sure it never got forgotten again. I stopped sleeping. I stopped eating. I could hear the scratching sound of a pen even when the room was silent. And every morning there were more pages filled, more confessions, more pain, and I started to see her, not like a ghost, but in the mirror, behind my reflection, standing there, smiling faintly as I turned each page. And I felt her emotions mixing with mine: rage, sorrow, desperation. Like I wasn't just reading anymore. I was living her grief, her memories, and every sentence I read made me feel less like myself. The lines between me and her blurred, until I couldn't tell where she ended and I began. And then one night, the diary wrote, "It's time to trade places." And when I looked down, the words were moving, the ink still wet, shifting across the paper. And before I could react, I blacked out. I woke up in the morning, and everything looked slightly off. My room arranged differently, the mirror showing me wearing clothes I didn't own. And when I reached for the diary, my handwriting was gone, replaced with hers completely. And the final line read, "Thank you for letting me live again. I don't know who I am anymore. When I look in the mirror, I see someone else's eyes. When I open the diary, I don't recognize the words, yet I feel them as if they're mine. And people around me act strange. They say my voice sounds different, my laugh, my walk, my smell. Everything's slightly changed. And I smile at them, but inside I know I'm not me anymore. I'm just the story she wanted to finish, the one she started before death took her. And sometimes, late at night, I see a second diary on the desk, one that looks older, burned at the edges, and I swear I hear faint scratching from inside it, like a heartbeat trapped in paper, waiting for someone else to open it, to keep the story going. And maybe that's what we all are, just unfinished sentences waiting for someone to write us again. And if you ever find a diary that knows your secrets, close it, burn it, destroy it, because once it starts writing back, it never stops.